We know where he is, and I'd like to take you down there." "To do what?" Barnes asked, as if the thought was ridiculous. "To arrest him." Mark wondered if the ear-numbed sheriff was really that dumb, or if he was just playing the part. "I'm sorry," Barnes said in a voice that revealed that he wasn't. "But that's out of my jurisdiction. I can try to get hold of the McMullen County Sheriff and pass your information on to him. But unless this Olson character comes back to my county, there's nothing I can do." "I see," Mark said, realizing that Barnes probably wouldn't even make an effort to reach the McMullen County Sheriff. "We also found this close to the four-wheeler tracks." He held up the spent cartridge case. "They have two .50 caliber rifles down at the ranch." Barnes took the case as if it held no interest to him. "Anything else?" "No, that's it." "Then how do you know it's this Olson and that he intended to kill you?" Mark started to tell Barnes about Susie, but then thought better of it. "When we found the case, I suspected it was someone from the ranch, so we went down and had a look. We saw John there, and since he didn't even know Kurt, as best we can tell, it only made sense that his intent was to shoot me." "Uh-huh." Barnes pulled a notebook and pen out of his shirt pocket. "And who is the we who traveled out of the county?" "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say we?" "I meant me. I went by myself. I hope that isn't a problem." "Oh, not for me," Barnes said with a wicked smile as he scribbled on the paper. "But I don't know what the FEMA rep is going to say about it next time he comes around." The acting sheriff paused for effect. "By the way, I understand that Kurt gave you 3 full automatic rifles from the Los Muertos shootout. I'll be needing those. I can't have civilians running around with full automatic weapons, now can I?" Gunny, who had remained silent to this point, turned red in the face. "Now listen here, you sumbitch. Kurt gave..." he started. Mark grabbed his arm and cut him off. "What Gunny's trying to say is that we don't know what you're talking about." Mark mimicked the evil smile he'd seen Barnes give a minute before. "But if you can find a judge who will give you a search warrant for every house in Silver Hills, you can come and look for them yourself. Isn't that right, Ralph?" "Sure is," the lawyer replied with his own smile as he folded his arms. "We want to thank you for coming out, Interim Sheriff Barnes," Mark said in a sickeningly sweet voice. "Now, if you don't have any more questions for us, we have work to do. I think you know the way out." It was all Mark could do not to put Barney at the end of the last sentence. However, there was no sense in further taunting the fill-in. Barney made half a face and then went back to the cruiser that had been Kurt's. He started the engine, put the car in gear, and stomped on the accelerator. Smoke and dust hung in the air as he made his way out of the gate. "You were smart not to tell him about Susie," Gunny said to Mark. "What do you think we should do about the AKs Kurt gave us?" "I don't know." "Do you think he could get a search warrant, Ralph?" "Not likely. And certainly not for every house here. I'd just keep them out of sight and out of the obvious places he might search, like your 2 houses and the command post." "Good idea," Mark said, as he pulled the keys out of his pocket and turned to head toward his house. "You 2 coming?" "Where?" Gunny asked. "To help me talk Rob into running for sheriff. I'll do anything to make sure Barney doesn't get elected." "We're right behind you, Mark.